Thank you. What a well-behaved crowd. When I teach class, I don't usually get that kind of response. My name is Chris Kimball. I have the honor and joy of serving as president at Cal Lutheran, and it's my joy today to welcome all of you here to campus for this armchair conversation with Assemblymember Jackie Irwin and Tom Steyer. I have to ask, is there anybody here who is on campus for the first time? A couple of folks. Let me extend a special welcome to you. I hope it's not the last time. We're always glad to show off our campus. We believe one of the things that we are required to do, even as an independent university, is to be a public resource and to be a place where events like this can happen, along with things like volleyball camp, and if you're looking for that, that's right next door. We'll hope they'll keep the noise down a bit. But we pride ourselves on offering public events, sports, concerts, and a whole variety of things to the public to be a public resource, and we almost invariably do it without charge. So for those of you that have not been here before, we'd love to have you come back on many other occasions. Well, today you're here to listen to two very important people, and this event has been organized by Assemblymember Jackie Irwin. If I gave you her entire biography, we would use our entire allotment of time. So I'll just say a couple of personal things. Even though she is in her first term in the State Assembly and having a remarkable impact already, those of us in Thousand Oaks and the Caneo have known her for a long time. She served in our city council, served as mayor, I think was always a leading vote getter in elections, and I think it speaks to her commitment to working with all citizens across all kinds of lines that normally divide us to do good public policy. And I have to say, here at the university, we've been especially grateful for the friendship that Jackie has shown to us in the city and now statewide. While I can't claim that she or her lesser half, husband John, or her three children are any of them graduates of the university, they have been great supporters of it, and John Irwin is a member of the Board of Regents, our governing body, and therefore my boss, so don't tell him what I said about being a lesser half. Anyway, we are delighted that Assemblymember Irwin has elected to have this event here on campus this morning. We look forward to future partnerships. I will point to one happening in just a few months. On September 22nd, here at 4 p.m., we will have hearings on cybersecurity. And it's hard to think of anything that rivals the environment as an important story of our time, but cybersecurity is probably it. So we look forward to that event in the third week of September. But today we're here to hear from Assemblymember Irwin and from Tom Steyer. So with that, with great thanks and a welcome, Assemblymember Jackie Irwin.
We are very happy to see such a great turnout here today, and I would like to thank Chris Kimball and Cal Lutheran for hosting today. Cal Lutheran has been wonderful throughout the years engaging the community on important issues. I think that it's really Chris's mission to pique the intellectual curiosity of residents of Thousand Oaks, and so I'm very pleased that you allowed us to use Cal Lutheran today. And very excited that Tom Steyer was willing to address residents here in Thousand Oaks and in the greater Ventura County. He is truly one of the thought leaders in this country on clean energy and global climate change. And so we expect that this will be one of a number of speakers that we're able to get here into Ventura County. I think it's very important that residents get as educated as possible on the important issues that are facing us at the state, local, and global level. And Tom Steyer certainly brings a wealth of information. So to start off our series, I would like to tell you a little bit about today's guest. Tom is a California business leader and clean energy advocate. He was born in 1957 in New York City. He graduated from Yale University summa cum laude in economics and political science. He then attended Stanford Business School, where he became an R.J. Miller Scholar and received his MBA. Tom and his wife Catherine have 4 children. Tom founded and was the senior managing member of Therian Capital Management, as well as being a co-founder of the Oakland-based One California Bank. Currently, Tom is the president of NextGen Climate. Tom has been a member of the Hamilton Project, a group of leading economic thinkers and policymakers since 2005. The Hamilton Project was launched as an economic policy initiative at the Brookings Institute, an organization widely regarded as the most influential think tank in the world. As a philanthropist, Tom has donated $41 million to create the Tomcat Center for Sustainable Energy at Stanford University, which focuses on the development of affordable renewable energy and the promotion of related public policies. He co-founded the Tomcat Ranch, a farm dedicated to promoting healthy eating programs at neighboring schools and promoting excuse me, healthy farm practices. He and his wife Catherine, I always say English is my second language, my first language is Dutch, so when some of those things come up, that's what I blame. He and his wife Catherine have signed a giving pledge, a commitment by wealthy individuals to dedicate the majority of their fortunes to philanthropy. Ladies and gentlemen, please help welcome my guest today, Tom Steyer. Can you hear me? Okay. I have to say it's very exciting not to be on the hot seat today. That's true.
Does that mean I'm on the hot seat?
You are on the hot seat. So we're going to go through a number of questions, and as many of you heard probably on the way, that we would love to get questions from the audience also. So anybody that has questions that they haven't turned in, we have a number of staffers right there. Jeanette with the polka dotted dress on. She will be collecting questions also, and David Moran will moderate those in a little while. So why don't we start with, can you tell us a little bit about your background and how a successful investor decided to change course to advocate for action on climate change?
Sure. Well, let me start by saying thank you very much for having me here today. It is a real pleasure to be here, and I hope that we can talk together and both learn something from this. So why did I stop investing? And let me say that I have a friend here for 30 years who was also working in the investment world, who came out to hear me. So Jeff, nice to see you. 2 reasons. And I think it's actually very appropriate that we're at Cal Lutheran University to talk about it. One was I started to go to church a lot more. And I started to think about the world more broadly, so that it included not just trying to think about things in terms of returns and economic impact, but also to try to think more broadly about what we're doing to each other in our actions, and what we're doing to the natural world, and what will that then mean for what we're doing to each other. So when this happened, I called up my mother, who was very religious, and said, you know, Mom, you're not going to believe this, but it turns out I really believe in God. And she goes, Sonny, there are a lot of people who are a lot smarter than you that believe in God. Don't be so smug. But the other thing that happened was I went on the board of Stanford University. And Stanford likes to think in grandiose terms and think that they can address the biggest problems in the world. And so it has a big board, over 30 people, and I felt like if I'm going to be a board member that contributes something, I need to think about how I can help Stanford, you know, go along its mission. And the thing that I thought, the more I studied, the more I looked at the world, the more I felt like this is the issue that confronts us. This is our generational challenge, and it's going to take a concerted effort in technology and policy and politics to figure out how to do this. And so I can contribute through Stanford and put some money into their research programs and come up with some new technology that will help us solve the energy problem. So it really was those 2 things that sort of took my focus away from just thinking about investing around the world and started to think more broadly about what are the biggest challenges that face us as Californians and as Americans, and how can we address them? And it just became something that I felt absolutely driven to do, because I felt as if there was no one else who thought this was a job. In fact, my friends like to make fun of me and say it's not a job. But I felt as if there was something that needed to be done, and that if no one else was going to do it, then I was going to give it a try.